Hello, this is Bill Steffen. Well, I hope you're not too tired from shoveling snow. That was quite a snowstorm here, and it was not lake effect. We had quite a bit of snow in inland areas as well, and there is more snow and cold air in the forecast. Let's start out and take a look at the snow depth across the area here. We're going to start out on this December 1st, starting a new month. 31% of the United States has more than an inch of snow on the ground, and that's pretty significant for early December. You can see that the second level of blue represents over 5 inches of snow, and that covers not only much of western Michigan, but also a good portion of northern Indiana, a good portion of Illinois, all the way down almost to St. Louis. They have almost 5 inches of snow on the ground. So a very wintry looking map. And if we go to the next slide, that will show you a kind of a zoomed in picture here of Michigan. And you can see that that first color blue up there in the UP, which is in the western UP, that area there has had up to 2 feet of snow fall and quite a bit of snow on the ground. You can also see a band that kind of came across Lake Superior, came across the UP, and into northern lower Michigan, north of Houghton Lake. And that area's got over a foot of snow on the ground. I just checked the snow stake at the Weather Service in Gaylord, and they have 13 inches or thereabouts on the ground. And as you can see, a lot of snow across Iowa, the Chicago area, Milwaukee, all picking up on that snow. We call that synoptic snow. It's not snow coming off of Lake Michigan. Okay, I'll look at headlines and show you what's ahead here. Oh, first of all, take a look at the snow. Yeah, let's go to the next slide here and take a look at the amount of snow that everybody had. Zeeland, Spring Lake, Hudsonville, three miles east-southeast of Hudsonville. Foot of snow was measured. Belmont, we had several readings from Belmont, anywhere from 8 to almost 12 inches there. Gull Lake, down along the border there, Berry and Kalamazoo County, 11.5 inches. Granville, 10. Battle Creek, 10 inches. East Grand Rapids had 9.8. I think the National Weather Service officially in Grand Rapids was a little over 8 inches that officially fell. And you can look at the map that's right there. The orange color indicates where the heaviest snow occurred. A little bit less once you get up toward Ludington, Cadillac, but even up there they had about 3-4 inches of snow. A little bit less over toward Detroit. Okay, on we go. Let's take a look at what's ahead here for us. First of all, this snow is going to stick around. You're seeing a lot of snow around Roscommon there, 15 inches, about 8 inches in Cadillac. That's how much snow is on the ground. So if you want to run your snowmobile or your snow machine, if that's what you call it, boy, I tell you, there's a lot of snow to play in up there. You want to do some cross-country skiing? That band there through Kalkaska, Mansalona has had quite a bit of snow. All right, let's go on and take a look at the next slide for you. This is our headline graphic. Winter storm watch for 3 counties, Ottawa, Muskegon, and Oceana. For 6 to 10 inches possible. There's going to be a band in there somewhere. Not all places in those counties will see that much snow, but there will be a band probably about 10 miles wide where the snow comes in off of Lake Michigan, where there will be 6 to 10 inches of snow. That's most likely in Muskegon County, but northwest Ottawa County or southern Oceana County, southern and even western Oceana County could get in on the more significant snow. Continued cool for the next 2 weeks. We're not seeing any warm air in sight here. And I may see a peek at the sun from time to time, but more clouds than sun here over the next week or so. Taking a look right now at I think we have the Lakeshore forecast coming up next. Is that right? Let's take a look. No, there's a look at what the watch is. Oceana, Muskegon, and Ottawa County. And that is mainly for snow that's going to be coming here later today and into tonight. And none of the other counties included in that, by the way. 6-hour snowfall. You can see there's quite a bit of snow in the Rockies where skiing they're off to a really good start. Cascades in Washington as well. You can see the snow from the storm that came up or the additional snow that's coming up here now through Missouri and Iowa, Illinois into Michigan, and pretty significant snow in the East Coast areas. The heaviest snow may stay just to the northwest of New York City, but they will be seeing some snow there. And like I said, it's a little early to be talking significant snow for the coastal cities there in New England. We'll zoom in a little bit and show you the Great Lakes area here on the map. And as you can see, where the heaviest snow is going to be occurring there along the lakeshore. Up in the UP, up toward Newberry, from there up to Grand Marais and Munising, they'll pick up another 3 to 6. East of Cleveland, anybody traveling on Interstate 90, you got some truckers going in that direction. You're going to run into snowy roads there too. And again, through the higher elevations of the Poconos into the New York City area. Now we'll zoom into West Michigan a little bit, see if we can pin down that band a little bit. The dot is Muskegon, just to the northwest of Grand Rapids, and that's where the more significant snow is going to be. But you can see Ottawa County, about the western part of Ottawa County, not along 131 there, but the area from Saugatuck up through Holland, and especially up toward the Muskegon area. And we got one more picture to show you here. We're zoomed in again to show you that orange area and where the heaviest snow is going to be. And we did a search on Muskegon. This is an interesting storm because if the main band misses Muskegon, you only get 2 inches. The expected band coming over you should produce about 8 to 10 inches. And on the high end, about a foot of new snow could be falling. And you can see there's going to be a pretty sharp dividing line between where there's going to be significant snow and not. Grand Rapids here will pick up a couple of inches here, mainly Monday night. And that's more from the synoptic system. Most of what's at the lakeshore is going to be lake effect snow with a southwest wind. All right, and by the way, anytime you want to see this graphic in a little bit more time, just slow the video down here or stop it for a second. You can take a look at these graphics and then get back to the show. Lakeshore forecast, wind southwest 10 to 20 knots, waves increasing to 1 to 3 feet. Water temperatures continue to drop almost a degree a day, 39 degrees, both at the Holland Channel and inland at Reed's Lake. There will be bigger waves Wednesday through Saturday. So keep that in mind. Waves today, maybe 2 to 3 feet during the afternoon, but later this week, I'm sure we'll be seeing some waves at least up into the 5 to 10 foot range once again. And I've mentioned before, it's a good thing that the lake water level is down, because that means we won't be getting as much beach erosion when we have these big waves that come in. And that's what the Holland Beach looked like here Sunday. And as you can see, not many people there, but a lot of snow on the sand. Wind hadn't come up yet to blow the snow away. All right, let's go on and take a look then at what comes up next. We've got the hazards map, and this shows you where more snow is going to fall today. So if anybody's doing any traveling, we're looking for about 2 to 4 inches of snow across Kansas, northern Missouri, and into Illinois. And this is an area that had snow already, Missouri, Illinois, and Iowa. So that area will likely see some snow-covered and slippery roads. They've done a pretty good job of cleaning up Interstate 80 because there was significant snow from northern Indiana all the way out to eastern Nebraska with this pass system. And there are winter weather advisories out for Arkansas. Way down there, they're forecasting about a half to 1 inch of snow, and that's worth an advisory if you're in Arkansas. That would be nothing but a flurry here in Michigan, but a little different. 29 today is what your high temperature is going to be. 19 here during the early morning. Some breaks in the clouds early, and then that snow mainly toward the lakeshore today. Wind south to southwest. Inland much of the day, only about 5 to 10. So it's not going to be a windy day. While the snow's coming down over in Muskegon, there won't be a whole lot of drifting with this. All right, on we go. Taking a look at highs for today and tomorrow. Our high temperature map shows temperatures, like I said, around 29 for Grand Rapids. It may be a degree or two warmer at the lakeshore with the wind coming in off that 39-degree water. We may reach 32 or 33 at South Haven and 32 at Ludington. Upper 20s as you go east of Grand Rapids, and pretty cold air off to the west of us yet. 24 there. Was that Beloit? Over there in Wisconsin, southwestern Milwaukee. And then we go to Tuesday. And Tuesday could be a couple degrees warmer than Monday, up to about 30. You can see the cold air poised to come right back in here over in Wisconsin. And in the UP, you can see some temperatures there only in the low to mid 20s here for Tuesday afternoon. Taking a look at some high temperatures here across the next 5 days or so. And you'll see 29 for today, 30 for Tuesday, 31 for Wednesday, just 22 for a high temperature here on Thursday, the way it looks now. And Friday, I've got out 10 for an early morning low. The GFS model gives Grand Rapids 2 for a morning low temperature on Friday. So that would be approaching record level for the date. So this is some pretty cold air that'll be spinning on down for Friday and next weekend. There will be ski resorts open next weekend. I think that there's 4 or 5 that are trying to get ready or to go already for this coming weekend. Ski Brule is open in Upper Michigan. They've been enjoying skiing there. We got lakeshore snow for you today, not so much inland. Most everybody gets snow Monday night. 30% chance that lingers into Tuesday morning. Another 70% chance of another couple of inches of snow at least here on Wednesday. And then a chance for some snow showers here Thursday and Friday. So a very January-like 5-day forecast for everybody. Some high temperatures across the United States where you see the orange and the red. It's fairly warm. As you can see, the cool air never really got down to Florida. They had one day where it went back down to the low to mid 70s, but we're back up to 80 or so. Water temperatures have been fairly warm, but they are cooling off with this cool air just a bit. You can see the core of the coldest air over North Dakota, Minnesota into northwest Wisconsin today. All right, on to our long-range outlook here. This is the 8 to 14-day outlook from the Climate Prediction Center for December 6 to 12. So we're already well into the second week of December, and look at that below stamped out right over Lake Michigan. So we don't see this pattern breaking. And I noted yesterday, note that Alaska is going to be much colder than average. And all that cold air, which is sitting up there with some low temperatures below zero, is poised to come down if we ever get a favorable pattern. A lobe of the polar vortex has been sitting over northern Hudson Bay and not really coming down here, just spinning down some Canadian air, which is cold, but not as cold as we could be. And we'll have to see if any of that breaks loose here as we head toward Christmas. The rainfall outlook, or the precipitation outlook for the 8 to 14-day period, again shows much of the country with above average precipitation. Dry weather expected here across parts of the plains. And St. Louis will have a chance to see several days of sunshine, perhaps without snow. So all in all, a pretty cold week coming up. Good bet for some snow around here, especially at the lakeshore. And again, that watch is going to be either a warning or an advisory later on today for Oceana, Muskegon, and Ottawa counties. Okay, question. Bill, when did they start naming winter storms? I see the current one is called Bellamy. The first I heard it, this is the first time I heard that it was called Bellamy. I haven't watched the source that was naming that, but I thought of Ralph Bellamy, the actor who ran away from home, I think, as a teenager, and wound up doing quite well in showbiz in a number of different movies and stage productions and whatnot. I don't know that I know anybody with the first name of Bellamy. You know, maybe there's somebody watching out there that's Bellamy, I don't know, but that to me was a last name rather than a first name. Are they going A to Z like hurricanes? So first we have to find out who they are. Not everybody supports this idea of naming winter storms. Now keep in mind that some storms get named after the event. You know, the Galveston hurricane, the Standale tornado. So we've had that. Normally for hurricanes and tornadoes, in terms of naming winter storms, this kind of took off when the Weather Channel started doing that. AccuWeather won't do it or didn't do it. And last I heard, they weren't doing it. And then the Weather Channel, I believe, was still doing it. And it got picked up in Europe, I believe in England. They started naming storms as well. And this is fairly recent. You go back to naming historic storms, the Armistice Day storm, that's gone on for centuries, going all the way back to, I think, the late 1700s. Somebody would name it the storm that hit Philadelphia or something like that. But in terms of naming the winter storms, that was just decided by the Weather Channel, and that's how it kind of took off here in the United States. The problem is that if you name every storm that comes, eventually you kind of run out of names. If you're naming, 20, 30 storms a year, it kind of gets confusing. So I'm not a big fan of naming winter storms, even But I guess with hurricanes, they decided to started naming them in the United States back in the 50s when they wanted to keep them separate. They had more than one hurricane going on at the same time, and they wanted to make sure people knew, that they were referring to one hurricane or the other. But this is a fairly recent phenomenon. I believe this started, about 15, 20 years ago when the Weather Channel started picking this up, 15 years ago maybe. I never did that on TV. I never named winter storms. If winter storms got a name, it was because they were it was a name that occurred after the event. Like I said, the blizzard of '78, the Groundhog Day blizzard, that kind of thing. All right, thanks, Mike. Good question. All right, next question we have here. There's another comment that we have to pass along to everybody here. See if we can go to that real quick. Great start to winter. I have 9 to 10 inches here. Here is Comstock Park, and I live in Comstock Park, and I also measured about 9.5, 10 inches here this morning. Looks like a snow globe out there. It was really pretty early because there wasn't much wind. And I'm so into weather. I really thought that in my old age I would, there would be some burnout factor, but I'm still excited about weather. And I was getting up several times during the night to look outside and see how the snow was coming and what the temperature was and all that. Early morning, it was calm. The wind was very light, and so the snow was just kind of hanging there on the trees. And then the wind came up and kind of blew it all off, and it wasn't quite as snow globe-ish after that. But really pretty in the early morning. And lots, I have so many different this is great for all the people that called in snow reports. 9.8 inches East Grand Rapids. Here's 11.5 Zeeland. Somebody at GVSU measured 9.8 inches there, 8.2 in Lowell. Snow was a little bit less as you went farther to the east. It was more like half a dozen, 6 inches or so when you got east of Lansing. And then to the north, what else do we have here? 6 inches at Hart and Mears, so not quite as much there as we had down here in the Grand Rapids area. Ludington only had 4.5 inches. 9.5 in Fruitport, about 6 in Big Rapids, 9 in Cedar Springs, 10 in Battle Creek. Wow, quite a snowstorm. All right, let's go on here, see what else we have to talk about. Some interesting things that happened on December the 1st. First, the Michigan Soldiers Home opened up in Grand Rapids. There are 3 veterans homes in Michigan. Others are in Marquette and in Chesterfield, which is the Detroit area. It was open to serve veterans of the Civil War, and it was built on 90 acres, which is along the Grand River on the north side of Grand Rapids. We call it the Veterans Home now. And in fact, the Veterans Home donated the land that became Riverside Park. So we have all that beautiful land there that people can enjoy along the Grand River. Interesting. Up to 128 veterans and dependents can live there, which is neat. And I have been over there many times. I was over there with the Boy Scouts as we put flags on the graves in the month of May. I've done that a number of times. I was there when they donated a glorified golf cart, and we cheered everybody on there. What else have I done over there? I've done a couple of cookouts. My wife was in the Comstock Park Rotary, and they built the park, which is just to the north of the Veterans Home there. There is a Veterans Park right there, and I think they raised about $500,000 for that. Some of it was in-kind contributions, but really nice little park there. All right, let's go on. I did not know this. December 1, 1953, Michigan's 40th governor was killed in a plane crash. Kim Sigler was a Republican governor of Michigan for a couple of years, 1947 and 1949. He was a private pilot. Flying in fog, not always a good idea, and believed they were trying to land at Kellogg Field in Kalamazoo County. Struck a 500-foot high television tower. Television to anything over 500 feet is required to have a strobe on it, and boy, I don't know all the particulars with this particular accident, obviously, and of course that would probably knock out television. We didn't have cable or streaming or anything like that. I mean, everybody got their signal by putting an antenna on the roof and getting the signal that way. An unfortunate incident on this date, December 1, 1953. What else we got? The assembly line, December 1, 1913. The Ford assembly line reduced the time to build a car from 12 hours to 2.5 hours. A really cool idea. And of course, you find something that you're specifically good at or something that you become good at, and then that makes things kind of roll along. I remember when my father just got out of World War II, and he went to work at Bell and Howell. One of his jobs was to keep the assembly lines going and see if he had any suggestions as to how to speed up the assembly line. And it wasn't to fire anybody or anything like that. It was just basically to see if we could make things go. And they did a good job, didn't they? Ford is still around, 112 years later. All right, let's go on to the next slide here. Ford's first vehicle was the quadricycle, four wheels, quad. They could travel up to 20 miles an hour. Wow. It would take you a while to get to Florida or California and something like that. And of course, not a lot of protection from the elements when you're in something like that. Interesting. I wonder how much it weighed. I mean, it looks like, two guys or four guys anyway could pick the thing up and carry it. Interesting. But that was Ford's first vehicle, the quadricycle. Interesting. All right. Next slide that we have here for you. A favorite Grand Rapids community gathering space is named after this woman who refused to give up her bus seat in Montgomery, Alabama, capital city of Alabama, on December 1, 1955. And that, of course, was Rosa Parks. Everybody knows Rosa Parks Circle in Grand Rapids. And I believe that there is a statue of her down there as well. And that got a tremendous amount of publicity. That's a picture that's in the public domain that we can put here on TV. But interesting historical note. All right, let's go on to the next slide here and see what we have. Snow, beautiful Sunday snow from Bruce Top. And as you can see, the wind had not come up yet, so the snow was clinging to everything. And there's a lot of snow. If you look at the pine tree there, the conifer tree, I believe that is, and you can see the snow there kind of weighing down the branches. But beautiful scene out there. And like I said, a little bit early to be getting this in late November as opposed to a little bit later on in December. But December and January are our snowiest months, and those are yet to come. Okay, on we go. John Doherty. It did snow up in Benzie County. It looks like they picked up about 3 inches of snow, maybe 3-4 inches of new snow. The roads are snow covered and slippery. The temperature was well below the freezing mark and the ground cold enough for the snow to stick. You can see a little bit of the snow there clinging to the trees, and visibility down just a little bit, but not a major storm by Benzie County standards. Thank you, John. Appreciate the picture. Nice shot there from up on the hill looking down across the valley. And we have one more picture to share with you, I believe, we have 2 more, I think, from Bernie Engels. That is a very interesting picture looking up through the trees toward the clouds, I believe. And you can see the breaks in the clouds there. We did have a smidgen of sunshine here this morning. The snow clinging to the branches. I guess if you were a chipmunk, that's the view you'd get if you were looking up. But pretty scenes across West Michigan, and we appreciate all you people who have sent pictures in to us at bill@billsteffen.com. We have another one. Yes, John Scully. And look real close. Look who's looking out the window. My cats were looking out the window today. There were more birds than usual at my bird feeders. We have squirrels that live in the silver maple tree out back, and so they're running around. And there was a chipmunk or 2 out there that managed to poke above the snow. So they were well occupied there for a while, which is good. But I don't think my cats would know what to do if they ever caught a bird or if they saw a bird out there. I think they might run in the other direction. But you can see that cat there kind of checking out the scene in the backyard. All right, I think we're done for the day. Oh, no, we have a promo here for the vacation coming up. I will be going with holiday vacations to Normandy, London, and Paris. London first, then Normandy, and then Paris. And this comes up in late April, I think 13th through the 23rd, mid to late April. If you'd like to come along, wonderful historical trip. We'll have discussions on World War II and how London and Paris played into the historical trend that happened during those years. For more vacation, you can check by the way, let's go to the next slide. I think we have 2 slides here. And there you can see the itinerary. We spend 3 nights in London and then go to Portsmouth and then cross on a ferry. We spend 3 nights there in the beaches of Normandy, Utah Beach. And then I think we're going by bus to Paris, where we will, I can't use the Eiffel joke again. I've used that too many times. But we will get a historic perspective from there, check out some amazing Parisian food. And as you can see, the list of things that we're doing there, we're going to Monet's house and the gardens, the water lilies there and everything. The Seine River, a little bit of a cruise up and down there where we will be sheltered. And if you're interested in coming along, check it out. It's holidayvacations.com. Again, holidayvacations.com. I think you get $100 off if you watch the video first before you sign up. So make sure you do that and you can see what we're going to do. All right. See, we have anything else? I think that's it. If you have pictures, comments, anything like that, send it to us at bill@billsteffen.com. We do these videos almost every day. They will become a little less frequent. In fact, they probably won't become less frequent because Michelle and Alex will kind of take up the slack and have some good historical information for you while I'm over there in Europe. So have yourself a great day today. Stay warm, cold pattern this week. Keep the winter coat handy, and we will hopefully see you tomorrow. Thanks for subscribing.